Sit down, everyone. Supergirl is upon us. And baby, she ain't kidding. Supergirl isn't a bad movie. It's actually worse. It proves that modern day Hollywood doesn't have the talent to produce something meaningful anymore. Let's take a look at the story real quick. Kara Zor-El, unlike her cousin Superman, trust me, she ain't Superman, is dealing with deep trauma, of course she is, after watching her home world and family die. When a ruthless adversary poisons her dog, we're going John Wick. A grieving and reluctant Kara is forced to embark on a journey of vengeance and justice alongside an unlikely companion, a young girl seeking revenge. That young girl, by the way, is doing a Bella Ramsey impersonation and you can't get it out of my head anymore. So someone poisons her super dog, and before you know it, Kara Wick here is on a quest to save him and avenge the villain who did it. Sit down, everyone. Mondo has some notes. Ooh. The movie starts with a dog pissing on Superman, and that sets the tone. This is not going to be an earnest superhero movie. We are going for James Gunn edgy. Bodily fluids everywhere. Peeing, a lot of peeing. Puking, sweating, all the time. For at least a third of the movie, Kara is a depressed party girl that wants nothing to do with this. She's not annoying or anything. There is a streak of earnesty inside her, but God, it's hard to like her. For some reason, the little girl is doing a Bella Ramsey impersonation from Game of Thrones. Why does she speak with a British accent? I don't know. Close the door. The biggest problem here is the villain. Halfway through the movie and you're still wondering what's his deal, who is he, what's his motive, what's his goal, more importantly, what is he right about, Kara? There is literally nothing compelling about him, which means Supergirl here never gets sufficiently challenged for us to care. There is too much talking that does not advance anything, just sounds like filler. The dialogue is heightened in some scenes, but the acting and scene setup does not match the text, neither does the casting. This requires Greek tragedy levels of heightened performance, which most LA actors and creators have no background in nowadays, so you get this low-grade kitchen sink drama and acting for what is supposed to be a moment that is larger than life. Remember when Marlon Brando stood still and spoke the lines, "My son," as they echoed inside the icy fortress, sending shivers up your spine? You won't find that level of gravitas here. Imagine Gandalf standing on the bridge of Khazad-dûm, and instead of the steely gaze, the elaborate and heightened gestures and single line of "you shall not pass," a performance that is essentially played for the gods to see. Imagine instead that he stumbles on the rocks for a second and he's all, "oh fuck," as he bangs his head a little, and then stumbles some more and looks at the Balrog with a drunken look that just says, "could this day be any more lame?" That's what this is. The action pieces feel generic and boring. You don't feel you're watching a superhuman fight. Why? Because there are no stakes. She's not really trying to save anyone in that moment to add urgency and meaning to her fight. Halfway through the movie, there is an extended action fight, and you're supposed to remember that she's doing all of this to save her dog. Where is the immediate danger? It's one thing having a mission with a ticking clock, but you still need obstacles with high stakes along the way. Otherwise you're bored. The thing is, you are left emotionally unaffected throughout this movie because there is no soundtrack. Just an endless stream of James Gunn's playlist. It's lazy, generic, and dull. This is a problem with a lot of modern day movies. They try to cut corners by saving on the one thing that produces emotions, the music. Even the supremely talented directors understand that the soul of their movies exists in the soundtrack. Try to imagine feeling anything while watching Interstellar if it didn't have that organ music by Hans Zimmer. And the thing is, you will never remember this movie again. Why? Because your favorite movies exist in your brain as a string of musical notes. The visual memories come after. Let me clear one thing about this movie though. It's not exactly a girl boss film, but the feminist undertones are all over this movie. There's a planet where the thuggish males are looking for women to continue their all-male planet. Little Bella Ramsey keeps asking, "why is Superman a man and you're a girl?" Why are all the villains men? White men. But you won't dwell on that too much, because of the visual diarrhea on the screen all the time. The character design looks like someone puked on a mask and put it on the actors, like a pastiche of leftovers from other movies. Nothing here seems refined or thought through. Entire planets full of creatures with absolutely no thread that joins them in terms of design or biology. There are human-looking characters on planets that are not Earth. Tech pirates? What the fuck? Are we watching Supergirl or Mad Max? Everything is dark and bleak and apocalyptic. It doesn't matter what planet they go to. They all look the same. We go from one place to another, but we don't really care for anyone on screen. Kara is supposed to be tormented, but we spend the first half of the film watching her get drunk. Who cares? The pacing is very much, and then they went there, and then they did that. You crawl towards the end of the movie, and trust me, it feels like you're crawling, without any sense of a build-up or the stakes getting higher, or of two adversaries preparing to fight one last battle. So you get to the end, and oh wow, finally a dark moment. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Supergirl here goes all Kara Wick on the villain, and she doesn't fuck around anymore. And yet, it still leaves you a bit unaffected. Why? Because you still don't know what the deal is with a villain. It's a generic moment, not one that is rooted in a battle that you as the viewer have been going through in your head throughout the movie. Imagine for a second that he was the other side of the same coin, a different take on the same path that Kara walks on. Imagine if his story and his decisions had a point. One that you cannot discount easily because it's rooted in reason and also resonates emotionally. Imagine if his death brings closure but also feels a little sad or a little tragic. Imagine how much more fulfilling that ending would have been. God damn it, I have a dream. But I digress. You know, underneath it all, there are some interesting themes here. Protect the innocent. Honor your ancestors. Deal with past trauma. Live up to your potential. Is all evil redeemable? But we never take any time to sit with them because the characters are never shown battling with those ideas beyond a superficial moment here and there. The biggest problem with this film is that it's too whimsical and shallow. Should you watch it? Maybe. But it will leave you wanting more. Drama is supposed to take you to the depths of despair and then lift you up at the end with a sense of catharsis. You can forget about that with Supergirl. And you might say, dude, it's Supergirl. And I agree. We deserved better, goddammit. This movie has no gravitas. See you next time when we do another take to try and fix this mess with a Mondo cat. That sounded a bit too sexualized.